bi-weekly presentation for our Center of Excellence in Migration and Global Studies of the National Open University of Nigeria. I am Gloria Neto, the director of the center, and on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, I welcome you all to today's presentation in our webinar series. It has now become a known trend for us to always be here to share from people's knowledge and interact. And so we have many areas we cover. We are a center of excellence in migration and global studies. So any global issue is welcome on our platform, not only migration issues. And before I go ahead to introduce today's presenter, an eminent scholar who is going to share a wonderful knowledge with us on entrepreneurship. So it's not really migration today, and we are all going to gain from this. So I'm very excited already because I know that the expert is going to do justice to today's topic. But let me quickly tell you briefly, as usual, about our center, Center of Excellence in Migration and Global Studies, which was started in 2020, February 2020. So we have really come of age now. We are 3 by the immediate past. It was started in the regime of the immediate past Vice Chancellor of the University of National Open University, Professor Abdallah Oba Adamu, whom we are expecting will also join us later in this presentation. And this center was established by a seed fund from Church Fund. And since then, the seed fund has actually been exhausted, and the National Open University of Nigeria, under this current leadership of Professor Olufemi Peters, has ensured that this center is always there to do what it has been established to do. So we lack no fund at all. He's been very cooperative with us, a visionary leader, and we appreciate him at all times for his contributions to the center. And this center has the mandate to provide leverage for field-based and solution-driven research, to serve as agents of national policy for migration and global studies, to seek grants for academic activities and outreach for sustainability, to publish and sustain peer-reviewed academic journal and monographs. Of course, we have a peer-reviewed journal already in the center, and we are going to enter volume 3, issue 1, which will be out by the end of April 2023. So we are always sharing knowledge. All the presentations on this platform and others, not even on this platform, go through peer review. And we have our journal, International Journal for Migration, Migration and Global Studies. And it is really international because you need to pick a copy of it and go through the articles we have there. And we are also here to collaborate with stakeholders in the field of migration, global studies, and policy makers to also organize occasional seminars, conferences, and public lectures in migration and global studies. Of course, ours is no more occasional. It is our own household name now to say, where Center of Excellence, CEMGS, always has webinars. And we very soon, in the month of April, thereabout, we are going to have a conference, but it's going to be virtually, and we'll let you know what that topic of the conference and the speakers will be, even if it is for one day conference, and we bring allies to discuss certain burning issues with us on this platform. So as not to waste much of your time, our website, you can visit it, International Center. Our website is the site will be posted here now on this chart. Blessing, please post the link to our website there so that our people can click on it and be part of what is happening in our site. And of course, we also have our journal website, the International Journal for Migration and Global Studies at nou.edu.ng. She will post those 2 right away now in the chat box for us to be able to follow. Having said that about our center, it's now time to introduce the presenter for the day. And it's no other than Dr. Ali Johnson Onoja, PhD, FIMC, CMC, and his first degree he got from Usman Dan Fodio University, and had his master's and PhD. The first degree was in biochemistry, and master's and PhD in virology from the University of Ibadan. And I must say, this is almost it's over 3 decades ago that he had his PhD. So it's an old scholar. And of course, has his postdoctoral degree in epidemiology at Maryland, Baltimore, United States of America. He's a chartered management consultant right now, and his career objective is to contribute to the growth and development of society through application of knowledge and skills in facilitating training, capacity building, entrepreneurship, project management, developmental activities, and operational research in promoting the attainment of the SDGs. He has been working, like I said, for over 35 years, and he has worked in Federal Ministry of Health, Nigeria, National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, African Health Project, and Ubel Nigeria Limited. And he has gone through so many, I cannot continue with the list. However, for over 18 years, his experience has been in providing consultancy services in operational research policy, formation and implementation of HIV/AIDS, malaria, and TB programs at national and international levels in Nigeria, United States of America, Ghana, Malawi, and Gambia, to mention a few. He said, as an entrepreneur, he founded Ubel Nigeria Limited in 1995 as a business entity involved in management consultancy, operational research, and manufacturing. He also founded African Health Project in 1996 as an NGO with focus on health, education, and community development. And currently he operates, his offices are in Abuja, Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, Lagos, Benue, Niger, Kogi, and Gombe states. So you can see that today we have a big gun here to share experience with us. A big gun because he's been much into the entrepreneurship industry. And he will be speaking to us on developing an entrepreneurship mindset to maximize the opportunities of the 21st century. So, having said this, I'm very happy, very elated to introduce to you, to call the presenter for the day, Dr. Ali Johnson Onoja. Over to you, sir, Dr. Onoja.
Good morning, Professor Gloria and all other eminent participants on this panel. A lot has been said about me, and I'll just go straight into the presentation, which is developing an entrepreneurship mindset to maximize the opportunities of the 21st century. There are always challenges with every time of human development, but the focus today is how to maximize the opportunities that exist in the midst of the challenges. So, so in terms of the agenda, the presentation will look at entrepreneurship, personality trait of an entrepreneur, characteristics of an entrepreneur, the mindset itself, how to develop entrepreneurial mind, business models, top emerging business opportunities, and then I would conclude. So I will start with a food for thought or some food for thought. Nothing limits achievement like small thinking. Nothing expands possibilities like imagination. That was by William Otterwald. Then the tragedy of life is not death, but life without a purpose. then the secret of living is not to do what you like to do, but to like what you have to do. Also, the tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he is still alive. Then, of course, a man's gift maketh room for him and bringeth him before great men. That's from the Holy Books. And then starting a new business is not for the faint heart. It requires faith, persistence, and also hard work. So what separates successful CEOs from the rest of the pack is because of an entrepreneurial mind set. And this means no matter our station, no matter what we do, no matter our career, we can still develop an entrepreneurship mindset. What is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the practice of creating, developing, and running your own business. Successful entrepreneurs embrace challenges, make mistakes, approach failures, with open hands, and they see failures as opportunity to develop new skills sets to help succeed in future. That is to say, successful entrepreneurs believe that no matter how the journey is, success belongs to the future. Personality traits of an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur is unique and no path to success is the same. But all entrepreneurs share a specific skill set that allows them to solve problems, overcome obstacles, and thrive in their respective fields. And it's not about the big names. Let's say my country, Nigeria, we talk of entrepreneurs. It's not just about the Dangotes, the dollars, and all that. No. It also talks about people that are just doing their own businesses, little things, provided they are able to add value and make profit, put food on the table and also on the table of others. What are some characteristics of an entrepreneur? Ability to confront self-doubt, because entrepreneurship mostly is about charting a course into the unknown. So ability to confront the self-doubt. Can I make it and this work and this succeed? Knowing that there are no remuneration, but from the value you are able to add to a system or a process. Teaching yourself how to think means acting like your own coach or even cheerleader. Entrepreneurial success will come from your ability to control your own thoughts and confront self-doubt, making it easier to navigate the failures and disappointments inherent in going it on your own. When big things go wrong, and they will always go wrong, the buck stops with you. Even when outcomes are outside of your complete control, entrepreneurial thinking requires you to avoid making excuses and instead take action to solve the problem. For instance, when this meeting was fixed today, nobody knew the country Nigeria would just be in the kind of state we are. Yesterday, I was a bit tempted to suggest to Gloria, do we postpone this in terms of all the things that are happening, the tension, and all, do we, but it's what we have found ourselves. But that entrepreneurial spirit, it requires that we just have to move forward and achieve what we need to achieve. No excuse is good enough. Part of the characteristics of an entrepreneur is also resilience. Mistakes are inevitable when attempting to launch new ventures. Everyone from Silicon Valley billionaires to low-level employees make mistakes. That's why resilience is one of the most important life skills for an entrepreneur. Your ability to bounce back from failure will help your business stay afloat and inspire a team to follow your leadership. Also, willingness to experiment. Whether you are the co-founder of a burgeoning business or simply one of the many young people trying to set out on a new career path, your road to sustained success will lead you to many tough decisions. Entrepreneurs are always willing to experiment when it comes to new products, business plan, or problem-solving techniques when they are not working. So to be a successful entrepreneur, you must have the ability to let down ideas that are not working, stay down, and to move on with ideas that are working. The entrepreneurial mindset is a mode of thinking that helps you achieve the goals of running your own business. Having doubts make you human. Knowing how to nip them in the bud can make you a great entrepreneur. That is succeeding despite the odds. This chart just gives, summarizes all that I've been saying so far. How to develop an entrepreneurial mindset, redefine failure. Failure is another opportunity, presents an opportunity to start again and achieve what needs to be achieved. Remain curious, experimental, practice being decisive. Decision making is a constant attribute of entrepreneurship because decisions must be made early and regularly. Set clear goals and then be time conscious. How to develop an entrepreneurial mindset? We have been going around about them just to emphasize. Set clear goals. Setting a goal, speaking it to the universe, writing it down, mentioning it to friends and family and associates who hold you accountable, can subtly influence aspiring entrepreneurs to work towards that goal, bit by bit each day. If you don't feel like you have clearly articulated your goals, set aside some time to brainstorm until you know exactly what. Practice being decisive. Entrepreneurs, innovators, and new business owners must develop the ability to analyze the situation, absorb the relevant data, and make a confident decision or make confident decisions. Small businesses and startups can be ruined by indecision, which is why making a decision with confidence is one of the most vital entrepreneurial skills. You can practice decisiveness in the real world or in your personal life. Whether you are ordering at a restaurant or making evening plans, practicing making small decisions with confidence will pay off when you are faced with big challenges in your business. Redefining failure. Failing typically has negative connotations, but the best entrepreneurs turn failure into something positive. Failing indicates that you've tried something which can be scary. It can be a scary thing to do. True failure is not trying at all. That's to say, it's better to try and not succeed than not to try at all. Practice failure dialogues. You can do this in your notebook or with a friend. Having them ask you about your failures every day for a week. Answer honestly. Soon, you may find that instead of feeling shame when you discuss your failures, you feel pride at showing off when you've attempted. Remain curious. Curiosity is one of the most important traits of entrepreneurs. To constantly learn and maintain your competitive edge, you must always seek out new people and new experience. Never lose the curiosity to see around things. Being time conscious is also very important. Time waits for no one. No matter the events, the competing events, no matter the type, no matter how we feel, time is on the move. We have a limited time here on earth. It's good to make the best use of your time while you are still young. Wake up early, avoid time wasting distractions, avoid worthless companies and activities, especially for young people. Many young people these days waste so much of their time on social media, activism, doing things that have no benefit or profit to them at all, leaving undone things, skills that can help them to be successful as entrepreneurs. Time management is a very, very important aspect of entrepreneurship. Young people, especially if you learn to wake up early, organize your day, start getting things done, it follows all through because time management is one of the most important. Do the right thing at the right time. Avoid procrastination. You only know today, nobody knows tomorrow. Face your fear. Many entrepreneurs fear public speaking, failure, and embarrassment, for instance. The only way to kill that fear is to expose yourself to it. Being rejected again and again will anesthetize you to the letdown. A public speaking class anytime to get you more confidence in front of a crowd. If you want to improve your communication skill sets, take an acting or stand-up comedy class. These are just examples of how you can do to avoid fears of public speaking. I'll just go briefly to approaches to business model innovations. We have very important in successful business modeling and transformation, and entrepreneurship is motivation, transformation, aspiration, defense, trust. These are all very important aspects of business innovation. We have the mavericks, we have reinventors, we have adapters, we have adventures. So this talks about the various strategies. But at the end, for entrepreneurs, for business to matter in entrepreneurship, it's about value addition and getting reward for those values. I now bring about 3 business valuation methods. You can use asset-based approaches. In asset-based approaches, for instance, you set up a business. With time, there is increase in equity. A business that was started in Nigeria, for instance, with 10 million or even 1 million 6 years ago, by natural equity of the assets. So what was 1 million about 6 years ago will be about 6, 7, 8 million now, because the assets have moved on with the inflation. So it's always good to think about assets-based approach in terms of business models. Earning value approach. The whole essence of entrepreneurship is to make profit, to earn legitimately, well, to create wealth, to have financial freedom, to have resources that you can always be proud upon, leverage upon, and leave behind. Then market value approaches. This talks about the market in terms of products, where they need to go to, understanding the market, understanding customers, understanding the rules of the game. Then these are some approaches to business model innovation template. Incremental changes, redefine the value proposition, shift from product to service, shift from product to experience, shift also from product to outcome. Incremental changes, leap of faith, support the value proposition using proposition with a new operating model, build new capabilities, leverage external partners, redefine interactions with customers. Then volume chasing, redesign the model to capture margins, redefine the basis of differentiation, develop new cost model, find new ways to monetize. As I say, the whole essence of entrepreneurship is to make money. But I don't just say making money in the crude way, adding value and creating wealth. So both the incremental changes, the leap of faith, the volume chasing, they are all very, very important. And these are concepts that successful entrepreneurs use. I just bring you some of the emerging business opportunities of the 21st century. And it's also good to know that young people linking it to this department, very, very wonderful department that talks of migration studies. I also serve as on very many technical committees of the health industry, where we do training of professionals, we do develop policies, guidelines, and all that. Not only in Nigeria, in other African countries. And one trend we're seeing now is that young people are just taking education in Africa to run to the developed world to offer their services. And as they are going, how are they going? They are still going as employees. They are still going. So it's the same thing, it's the same rat race. Because we have challenges here in the south. When you move up north, other challenges come up. So it's very important to know the emerging opportunities of the 21st century. From research service, home fitness, online payment platforms, online marketing, all this related to the digital and the media, affiliate marketing, insurance, banking, online dating, lending. These are all opportunities of the 21st century. They are all digital, linked. The whole world is just a global platform. So even as people are migrating, when you develop these skills, whatever you are doing, just a little hour. A lot of people, when I was in the US in those days doing my postdoctoral study, we had Africans who died on their feet working. They worked for 16, 18 hours of the 24 hours, doing 3, 4 jobs, $10,000, $10 an hour, $20, whatever an hour. And some on the top job or somewhere, stood and died while working just to earn money. So even though they had migrated successfully from Africa to the developed world, they still went not with the right mindset of creating wealth, but with the mindset of servitude, offering immediate services, labor, being paid for immediate time. So they're not able to create wealth, they're not able to create, and their money went into mortgage. They'll pay mortgage for so many, a few years to end of the mortgage, they die, the family are behind. Many leave, also go there to pursue education, PhD, postdoctoral, and all kinds of things, Then at the end, they're not able to create that niche of wealth, that niche of addition, that niche of entrepreneurship. So these are some of the things we hope in terms of sensitization, professionals, top professionals, young people, business owners, whatever you are doing, you can, with entrepreneurship mindset, add on. And many of these opportunities of the 21st century, as I said earlier, they are digital, online. You can add it to whatever you are doing. And then it creates a lot of wealth and makes life easier. So these are all also parts of those opportunities: cleaning services, delivery services, remote fitness, cyber security consultants, e-commerce, party cleanup committee, online seller, all of them. There are so many: e-book writing, affiliate marketing, accounting or keeping, online personal assistant or virtual assistant, online therapy. All these opportunities of the 21st century, they will take our youths who are going into Yahoo things and then looking for shortcuts to wealth that cannot be sustained, looking for, because in that process, because the elements were not followed in terms of training, in terms of discipline, in terms of commitment, in terms of goals. So when the wealth comes, it alters completely their behavioral pattern. And in most things, it ends in destruction, it ends in further crime and things that are not okay. So in conclusion, so to develop an entrepreneur, be obedient, not in the political sense in Nigeria today, just a coincidence. So we need to follow instructions. We need to be person of integrity, be willing to make valuable friends and not enemies. Avoid unnecessary, be loyal, be respectful, be patient, God-fearing, humble, honest, hardworking, submissive to superior authorities, straightforward, focused, thorough, acquire skills, read books, listen to motivational events, be calm at all times, be attentive, and keep an accurate record, and of course, comply with all government regulations. So on this note, I thank you very much. I hope I've been able to pass one or two in stimulating the concept of entrepreneurial mind skill in you.
Thank you very much. This is wonderful. You can see you're already receiving some claps. Very, very wonderful, because it's so short yet so informative. I think I have learned a lot. At a time, I thought I was in the church hearing sermon, because some of those things there are just very wonderful. And I really want to thank you. But before I go ahead, I can the Vice Chancellor of National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Olufemi Peters, who has joined us in this presentation. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir. We're happy to have you here, sir. And I know that my Vice Chancellor is an entrepreneur par excellence, and so this very topic I've really enticed him. You cannot but come and listen to you, because he's an entrepreneur. And I can see that Professor Abdallah has joined us, of course, another entrepreneur. So we are all going to have a nice time today. So over to you, Professor Sogolu, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me just seize this opportunity to say hello to Professor Adamoba. I'm always, delighted when I see him on our program because it throws light on everything, particularly this kind of topic, entrepreneurship. Although he's not a businessman, but he has ideas that can be very enlightening. Now, I want to congratulate Dr. Ali Onoja for the clarity of his presentation. It is clear, from the beginning to the end, at least the part that I'm able to listen to, because my connection was going on and off. The criteria for entrepreneurship, which he has laid out, I'm wondering if these criteria are not the criteria for any other endeavor. For instance, the scholarship. You need devotion. You need persistence. You need hard work. And so some of the things he had mentioned, I would have thought that, any business you go into in life, scholarship, sporting, and so forth, that they apply. So I think it should be specific as due to the uniqueness of those, what he has mentioned, the uniqueness to entrepreneurship. That nuance, we need that specification. Then there's an aspect which I think he needs to emphasize. Even though he mentioned Nigeria and the conditions of Nigeria to entrepreneurial development, that aspect is very critical. In other words, to talk more about the environmental factors in entrepreneurship. For instance, political interference of laws, and the existing supporting facilities, and so forth. I think they are important after talking about the individual characteristics, requirements, and the external environmental factors are very important. I just thought that it ought to have laid some emphasis on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that. Over to you, sir, Professor Abdallah Badam.
First of all, I would like to say good afternoon to my Vice Chancellor, Professor Olupemi Peters. How are you, sir? So good to see you on the forum again. I hope you have heard me.
Good afternoon, my emeritus. That's
so,
nice. Oh, we thank God. We thank God. We thank God. We thank God.
We see you around. I did. Sorry, let me greet you too.
Yes, I've been around. I just didn't put on my camera.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ali, for that presentation, even though I came in a little bit late, but I'm happy that we are now beginning to see a focus on global studies. I mean, people tend to think that this forum is only about migration. And when they see something that doesn't have a word migrant in it, they start getting worried and saying, this man missing the road or something. So I think it's very good for us to understand that this is a Center for Migration and Global Studies. So anything that affects globalization, global studies, and so on is part of what the purview of the center is. So I think this is a very good direction that we are moving in. My observation, however, is that Dr. Ali has provided an excellent theoretical framework, because that's what it is, a theory about who should do this, who should do that, who should do that, how it should be done. This is like a template of what should be done. I would have loved if at the end of all these beautiful graphics and so on and so forth, he has picked up a case study of a local industry, a local entrepreneurship, a local business, or whatever it is, and see how all these theoretical constructs apply to that business and make it successful. The case studies could be from anything, from corporate structure, from ordinary life, from anything. It is perfectly fine for us to look at a theory, but it's even better for us to look at how that theory affects practice and how it will improve practice. So I think a case study is what is missing in this, where we can see the application of all these theoretical constructs to the actual practice of entrepreneurship. So maybe he might show more light on it if he can pick up just one business or any other corporate structure and say, this corporate structure worked because of this, because of this, because of that. And this corporate structure did not work because of this, because of this, because of that, because they didn't follow the theoretical framework. As it is now, we have a theoretical framework, but we don't know what to do with it. We don't know how it applies in real life. And that is very, very critical for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful contribution. And my Vice Chancellor, sir, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Gloria. And I really want to welcome the former Vice Chancellor here, who has demonstrated that he's still one of us, even though he's far away in Kano now. Quite happy to see him. Thanking him for the great results that he did whilst he was with us here. I had made a mental note of this particular lecture because of what the moderator said, that's Professor Neto, by saying that I am an entrepreneurial person. I must confess, like I did when I was presenting my inaugural, that I am a failed one. And if I'd been successful, I wouldn't be where I am now. I have dabbled into so many things, and so I wanted to ask one or two questions to the fine presentation made by Dr. Onoja, which the emeritus professor has said that the clarity is unmistakable, and I think we all enjoyed it. Is that first, this entrepreneurship issue, is it cultural or do you need to learn it? Like I said, there are so many things I dabbled into while still going as an academic, as a chemist, as a polymer scientist, trying to go into the entrepreneurial field. But like I said, I failed woefully. Now, aside from that, one interesting part that came to my mind is that he made mention of Nigerians going abroad. And rather than being entrepreneurial in spirit, they are actually going for service. And I really don't know what could be the explanation for that. Now, I have friends and we have children there. They are probably economic migrants, yes, or social economic migrants, yes. But why have they not been able to develop entrepreneurial industries or sectors where they found themselves, mostly in the US and America? I scanned through during the presentation that I do know that some people really make issues like restaurant, fashion design. So the question is it capital that is the challenge or the mindset? If it's the mindset, is there a way National Open University of Nigeria can assist, maybe on developing a MOOC course like this one, developing a MOOC course, these massive open online courses for many people who wish to migrate and to go there and not to seek for employment, but as a means of generating employment and therefore income. Because it is until we're able to do that, and that is how the Indians have captured all the countries that they've migrated to. When you get to England, for instance, the nearest corner shop to you is being owned by an Indian. So the question I had asked earlier, is it of cultural influence, or is it something that you learn? Is it something that you inherit? Or really, why has it been difficult for our people who have moved to Europe to have this kind of industry, set up this varied number of industries, which you gladly showed us are quite a number of all of them, and I could see it. So what really is the issue? So the takeaway from MOU for NOUN, in my thinking, is that is it possible for us to develop something like a MOOC course, something like expanding this type of presentation by Dr. Noja and make it into a course, and as part of our own enlightenment, that it's not just you going there to go and do home care, which many of us do, or drive taxis. There are things that you can do there. So I think that those are my comments. Again, I want to Abdallah for being with us. I'm so thrilled to have him always. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you very much, sir, for that contribution. It's like my Vice Chancellor was reading my comments that I wrote here. I put on my paper, I said, collaboration with Dr. Noja concerning what we can do in this entrepreneurship with the Center of Excellence and him. So it's there, but my VC has taken it before me, and that is what it should be. Thank you, sir. The next hand I can see here is Professor John Aneto. Over to you, sir.
Well, good afternoon, the Vice Chancellor and the immediate past Vice Chancellor appear to have asked my question. All the same, I will go ahead and ask. I'm happy that the presenter, Dr. Ali Onoja, has lived in the US. It is well known that the economy of the United States and many other economies are driven by small and medium scale enterprises. And again, like was said by the immediate past contributor, when Nigerians migrate to other countries, they essentially look for paid jobs. And the question I was going to ask the presenter, who is an expert in the field, is what has he identified as the factors militating or inhibitors against entrepreneurial mindset in Nigeria, which people carry along with them when they then migrate to other countries. Like Professor Olufemi Peters said, I think that a major factor may be the finance block or fund, but I think beyond that, there may be some other, I don't know whether it's cultural or related to the kind of education that we were given in this environment. So I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Is this that there are some inhibitors, and how can we begin to address them? And I am also happy that the Vice Chancellor has hinted that one way to overcome this apparent obstacle is to set up a kind of course that may open people's minds and then probably address the issue. Once again, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much, Professor Aneto. So now over to Professor Tijani. I actually saw his hand up and later I didn't see it again. Professor Tijani, sir, over to you.
My hand is still up. I migrated from my cell phone to my iPad. That is why. I want to thank the presenter. And again, we have not joined in vain. It's been a learning moment, as it has always been. But let me make the following contributions and to support the speakers before me. One, I think the initiative by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Peters, should be taken seriously beyond the drawing board to reality, because one of the key points by the presenter is to showcase the reality of entrepreneurship and the audacity for men and women to partake of that. Let me also add this, that when you talk about the diaspora, and indeed within Nigeria and in any country, globally, the education or learning and the miseducation and learning or failure to learn affects the success or the failure of at least a few number that could have been a successful entrepreneur. What do I mean? You mentioned the United States, you mentioned UK. And I think by His grace, I have the experience, having lived in the two, apart from being born in Nigeria, as a Commonwealth scholar in London in the early 90s. I remember that those of us that were on Commonwealth scholarship, the academic staff Commonwealth scholarship, even tried to do some jobs. I tried it once, and I said, this is not why I am here, because I have enough pounds monthly to survive. And I should not be greedy to be looking for, let me focus. So the priority of us that left and engaged in temporary migration in our new homes or new homeland often affect what we develop or undeveloped. Let's move to the United States. The same thing that I've seen in my own experience. People fail to listen to instruction, or they religiously abide with instruction. What do I mean? You are a teacher in Nigeria. Even when you have papers, when you mix with people that are in the health profession, you are likely to be convinced, and in my opinion, miseducated, that that is the only way you can survive. That is what you must. But I think the passion is not there for most people. They only feel the passion to make money, quick one, at the detriment of the future. Last but not the least, because I'm not trying to represent or present my own paper, is what I did not hear from the presenter. Whether we talk about building a hub or a reality entrepreneurial center at Open University, being the largest in terms of population and a university that has come to be respected. You know, the day I had a registrar of a federal university telling me that, oh, you guys are doing this, I will employ graduates of Open University of Nigeria. I was so happy. And I asked him why. And he said it, and he now saw what is being done at Open University. So I'm talking about that area of franchise. For those in the diaspora, franchise is a key way of being a successful entrepreneur. With as low as $10,000 that anyone could have on his or a credit card, you can invest. And with the spirit of better education, prudency, and integrity, one can survive. But I'm not too sure whether we have that idea of franchise and how, you know, successful we've been in that realm within Nigeria. So I thank you again for this information. And I think lastly, we need to do more about students. The teachers here present should encourage their students. We should not say the election is, election is over. Even before election, I have not seen that many students joining this forum. And that area, Madam Director, we will need to collectively work on. We need more students, more young people to join. I thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful contribution. Now that so many people have spoken, we will now give the presenter the chance to respond to each comments/questions so far. Dr. Noja, over to you, sir.
All the comments that have come in. Let me start from Professor Soglo's comments and then observations. All that he said are very, very important in terms of criteria for entrepreneurship or success factor. Success is success. Looking at the success factors, which are important, in any venture. So what makes a successful academic, which is being a professor, is what will also make a successful entrepreneur. So it's not surprising that the factors are the same. But now the difference is that people put efforts in terms of pursuing career. Many people, especially in developing countries, are so career-minded to write your papers as you serve, as you follow your seniors, you rise until you reach the peak. But now in entrepreneurship, the moment you hit that peak, you have created wealth, you have now reached that level of control, and then you've now been in a position to multiply value to others. So it's all the same. And he mentioned one important point, environmental factors. Remember when we were discussing Dr. Gloria, Prof, we were thinking of challenges, but I said I didn't want to focus on challenges because we have enough challenges. Each generation has its challenges. But what is important is how to maximize the opportunities of that environment. So now, talking of government in Nigeria, I function in Abuja, I have offices in Lagos, Gombe, Makurdi, and so many other cities. Government agencies, multiple taxations, all kinds of obstacles, levy. The challenges are even more than the presentations if I go through, if I focus on that. But the important thing is that inform all those hurdles and get to the set goal. So that is, environmental factors are very, very important in terms of succeeding as an entrepreneur. Well, I must confess that because, you know, the chance where we met, I didn't know the audience I was going to meet. I thought we were going to be very young people and all that. But that it has brought up a lot of things in terms of addition of value. And as I will get to that later. We need to see how we can bring in young people to buy into this concept of entrepreneurship. So looking at Professor Hank's comments on theoretical and then case study is very important. What I focused on today was just a sensitization. Not even, I didn't talk of any framework at all. And the case study is myself that I'm speaking to you, because I have 35 years of postgraduate working experience. I haven't risen from the field. I rose from level 8 in the government. 10 years into my career, I registered my companies, both the NGO and then the limited liability company. 6 years ago, we floated FAPSI Water, Table Water, as an affiliate of Ubele Nigeria Limited. The equity then was 60 million, but the equity today is more than 150 million. So that's the example I gave in terms of those things I've written. All that I put there are things that were put into practical application, both through the NGO, both through the limited liability company. As we speak now, the consultancy arm of my organization, I'm working with the government of Gambia to develop a national HIV/AIDS strategic plan addendum for submission to the Global Fund funding request. I did a similar consultancy with them last year to develop an aspect of their project. So using the skills which I had acquired in the health industry in 2 years that I worked there, some of the services I offer, which are altruistic, has now gotten me international platforms of consultancy. One of the major areas that Ubele Nigeria Limited work with is what we call performance-based financing, independent verification agency. 10 years ago, some Nigerian firms were among the pioneers that were chosen to act as independent verification agency, trained and certified by the World Bank. And consecutively, from project to project, the same World Bank recommends us for opportunities in various sectors. We have worked with NACA, National Agency for Control. We are working currently with Ministry of Finance on nutrition. Having things I said, because of time, I just summarize them. These are all the things in terms of a general one, which you all be familiar with, is Jim Ovia versus Shinock. Jim Ovia used 25 million to start Zenith Bank, 5 million to build a mansion. That mansion is in ruin today. Nobody lives there, rodents. But Zenith, so resources can come. A lot of people make resources. Even all entrepreneurs, from Tinubu to Atiku to Obi, every person at that level is a university. So he sees there is a politician, but it's an entrepreneur. He owns two sets, not just about framework, about theory. You go to Dangote, it's the same story, and all other ones. So talking, Peter said, it's all well looked. The whole essence was just to give a sensitization, like it will be on this kind of platform and all the other. Give me a chair tomorrow that I should come and start take this course to anywhere. We have the knowledge base and of course the passion. So it's why I took this course. When Dr. Gloria approached me through a mutual friend, the passion we created, but I didn't know it was leading to this kind of distinguished audience to rub minds with possibilities. And I'm more than ready to partner with the department for us to take this further in terms of sensitizing our equipment so that we can benefit from the India model. When I was in the US, my postdoctoral, why few of us came back home? I came home because I was the first Fogarty program and were to develop HIV/AIDS vaccine. I was a mission. And it was which many Nigerians did, but I had a duty to come back home. Happy I came back home. And the next set that who said that of NACA in my country today. So that sacrifice I made coming back home opened the civil servants who are doing so well today. That aspect, there's also a learning component that said. The cultural aspect is like the Igbo established. They have the biggest set of entrepreneurs. You train under, put under all aspects of training, delayed gratification, discipline. After the 10 years, the person by law mandatorily sets you up as. So before you know, they have pockets. That's how they're able to go everywhere. Go. There's a saying that anywhere in the world that you don't see an evil man is not a human. So the idea of having an online program to further equip our migrants before they go so that they can be sensitized. Going after a job is the same thing anywhere you go. A worker is a worker anywhere. So when you go there and it's to self-service, it's to this thing, at the end, changing the mindset of our young people so that they can focus on having, wherever they are, they can become business owners. They can do other things. So Professor John's comments on the SMEs is very important. So that's why I did it. In terms of entrepreneurship, it's not the big mega companies. It is the small business owners employing 5 people, employing 3 people, employing 10 people, employing 15 people. When we started in my organization, we were just 2, 3 volunteers, 4 volunteers. But today we are more than 120 staff and volunteers working all over the country. To do part of our program is mentorship. We train many people, develop them for life among in the development sector, be to promote, which this kind of platform presents opportunity, presenting small business owners who are ready to be mentored, who are ready to develop the right skills, who are ready to understand that on the long run, entrepreneurship is based on strong and sustainable platforms. Now, of course, paid job syndrome of Nigerians. Yes, it's because, like in our generation, in those days, we grew up to know that the only way forward was through hard work, through excellence, through the course you read, and all kinds of things. But you have in other generations, especially with advent of politics and all that is happening, where over years, people have unrestrained access to a lot of resources. So people are no longer thinking that it's reasonable to waste time looking for things to do. Shortcut now comes into it. So job syndrome of Nigerians is part of this opportunism. When you look at all our professions, from medicine to pharmacy to lab to everywhere, every profession, there's discrimination against the other. In the health industry, where I was there, even if no matter what, if you are not MBBS, discrimination. In the legal industry, if you are not a lawyer, no matter how, agric industry. So all these are because of our opportunism, which are part of underdevelopment that we need to really work on. But now, if you're an entrepreneur, with the resources you have, you employ all caliber of people. So that is the essence. So promoting entrepreneurship will also remove part of this job syndrome. The job syndrome is at the lowest level of existence, being able to earn money to feed yourself, meet basic needs and all that. But entrepreneurship is about creating wealth, creating platforms, and of course, entrepreneurial mindset of Nigerians, as the Prof asked. Those are the factors: lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, lack of good role models, lack of examples. Some of these pockets of examples I've given, because they pick it in the newspaper or any other way, it's not well documented and researched and presented. And small entrepreneurs, people who are making little efforts, are not recognized. So people will now look at it as, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you don't have opportunities. And this idea of looting the treasury, the common treasury, everybody looking at jobs, even when you offer jobs to people, they think that the best job is government job. When you now become permanent secretary or director, you corner all contracts. But a lot of things have happened over the years in terms of structure, systems that are in place that the average person is not aware. So we have millions of youths who are unemployed, who are not doing anything, who are waiting for government jobs, whereas they can get jobs and earn much more money than they would have earned when working for government. So I believe in a structured way, this is a question of continuous sensitization about the importance of entrepreneurship, having frameworks set, and then having programs that move people from being just mentees to business owners, having arrangements to empower them, discipline, kind of mindset, changing things, following order. A lot of people don't follow order. They don't follow protocol, except compelled. But in terms of entrepreneurship, knowing that we need to the foreign experience. I lived in the US and I've been working back and forth. The experience itself is an education, knowing that if you commit an offense, you'll be punished. Knowing that whatever you do is what you get out of the system, knowing that the system is organized. The issues Professor Soglo wrote, environmental challenges that persist in our community. And of course, the need to entrepreneurship means learning and unlearning, re-educating ourselves, knowing that this can be add-on. And one other aspect which I didn't add was that it's never too late to start entrepreneurship, because what you start today continues to grow, and before you know, with time, there's expansion. Then building a hub of entrepreneurship education at the National Open University, I quite very much support that. Very, very. And of course, if now with all that can take this again and lead with it, it's going to help both the current and the future generation, and it will help us in terms of creating a better society, solving many of these problems, sending people, young people as they go, because we can't stop them from going. Immediately they are trained, they go to Canada, go to US, go to UK. I have a case I was discussing with somebody, a young lady doing so well in Nigeria, had cars, had everything, sold everything she had, including landed property, only to get to the UK. And within a few months, she was asking her brother to send reference for her to work in old people's home, maybe giving end-time care or cleaning cups or things like that. The brother was in tears. If this girl was properly guided, if she had the right information, would have planned, because now she got to the UK, she's stranded, no resources, she can't pay the bills. Somebody who was somebody in Abuja here, a car owner, a house owner, is now there asking the brother here. So these are part of the real time. Then franchise is very key. That is to say, Professor Hakim said, it's not just educational. This can generate a lot of resources, even for the university. It can run itself. If well targeted, if well run, we'll be able to get sponsorship. Like under African Health Project, we've survived. So even though it's an NGO, we survived by writing grants as an entity, because I was trained in grant writing and I returned home. When I left regular job, we write grants, we collect projects here and there, implement in the various communities, give returns, the assessors and all that, and that's how we have been going. So having this kind of model of education in terms of franchise, it's a very good opportunity And it means that if the university decides to go further with it, I assure you that it's one venture that will pay its way, one venture that will attract a lot of recognition, resources to the university, and of course, benefit for the overall development of our country. Thank you, and over.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Noja, for attempting to respond to most of the. I can still see, is it one hand up? Okay, Professor Aneto, your hand is up. Do you have more questions or contributions to make?
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry for coming up again, but I just thought I should bring up this as to where continue with the discussion. An idea just struck me, and I thought I should share it. And I was just wondering, is it possible that the element of failure of being seen as a failure in one's primary career can be a problem? I'll just give an example. I'm in the university and I'm in the College of Medicine. And you find some people probably vowed out to establish their own clinic, doing very well, and some people will say, oh, so and so could not become a professor. And I will also share an example. I lived in a house that belonged to somebody who was a child accountant, was a lecturer in the Polytechnic, and he started his accounting practice along the side, and eventually pulled out and faced it. And along the lines of people made some comment, oh yes, he couldn't become a chief lecturer or something. So, and I was just wondering, younger ones might hear such a comment, and therefore for the phobia of being seen as failures in their primary career, or at least kind of stigma, may discourage such young individuals of contemplating the possibility of going into private sector or into entrepreneurial activities. I just thought I should share this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that concern. And I saw Professor Abdallah's hand up. Then I think Professor Tijani's hand. Okay,
mine is socialization. I would like to apologize to the old man, Professor Sogolo, for not at least saying hi to him. Like he said, he always misses he enjoys my participation. I also enjoy his participation. So Ogami, I salute you. I know they laugh, they salute. Well done, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So let's hear from Professor Tijani.
I quickly want to share this with the Vice Chancellor, Professor Peters, as well as the Director, as you think about the possibility of this hub at NOUN. There's an entity in Nigeria that is so silent that not many of us look up to for possibility of funding, and that is the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. Part of its mandate is to give what they call generation funds for the future generations of Nigerians. And I think in this type of enterprise, we can look into that possibility of soft fund from this agency. It's an agency that is not well known. The activity is not known to many Nigerians. And I think it was created perhaps during the presidency of Obasanjo or Goodluck Jonathan. Okay, because I know that when I presented a paper right there in Abuja, I was with Adeleke University as a VC, Deputy Vice Chancellor, and they invited me to give a talk. And I think that was the time they lost all those Chibok girls, so the president, Jonathan, was unable to attend. But one thing that, it was shocking to those people that I sat with, I have no idea who those people were in my own table 4, is the fact that when I started talking about the sovereign wealth, and I came back, and I could see those within my table still standing and clapping, I thought maybe because we sat together. But they said, somebody now asked me, do you know this person? I don't know him, but he know me now. I'm Professor Tijani. I just gave the keynote. And they said, well, this is the managing director of Sovereign Wealth. And I couldn't believe, how did you get the information? Well, I said, well, I'm not just a teacher within the classroom. I'm a teacher that embraces, outside the classroom learning. So we may want to look at the sovereign wealth of Nigeria. They are located in Abuja. I can't remember the name of the managing director. I believe he's still there. It's still the same person, but I can get that information. I just wanted to chip that in. The other thing is the fact that NOUN could look into this, some of his MOU. At my current location, Morgan, and my current, assignment, my office is not just about Morgan Tech Fund, which is the most popular one. People don't know that we cover, the office cover the whole of Africa, but more importantly, even within Nigeria, we are relating, partnering with other agencies in terms of what I call the signature partnerships. That is, beyond getting a table and then looking for students or doctoral initiative. So I just wanted to chip in that it's an area that we can look into. And then beyond Morgan, the university can also look into other areas that you have signed that MOU, and then create a program agreement that will enable students and faculty, that is the teaching staff, to work in a multidisciplinary nature and create a sustainable entrepreneur.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Tijani. I will always be with you to get more information. Okay, the Vice Chancellor's hand is up. This is sir, over to you.
Thank you, Prof. Just once again, just to reiterate, I think we would, just whilst this was going on, it occurred to me that we have to move it a notch higher than where it is now, and to suggest that Dr. Ali Onoja could come in if he's in Nigeria to see us in most course. And I think we have, apart from what Professor Tijani said, the diasporan ministry or agency, we're happy if we can develop this MOOC. So, and I think I want to do it as quickly as possible if we can set a target for ourselves. So please, Dr. Onoja, kindly make yourself available to us so that we can sit down together and try and plan the design this program that we'll do and see how we can put it online. Luckily, following the works of Abdallah, we are easily recognized now as a leading electronic delivery of instructions and knowledge in the university. I think it's almost we are even taking it for granted now. Abdallah, you will not believe it that almost all the Nigerian universities coming to us to say, come and take us through this, come and take us through this. And Richard and Dr. Adiwale, they're having a hell of a time trying to meet schedules. I think that's wonderful. That we are really leveraging on what you did whilst you are here. So I think—
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm really grateful that we have been able to do something that you have been able to build upon. We thank God. We thank God.
Yeah, so I want Dr. Onoja to please, if can see us before next week, Thursday, because next week, Thursday, we are going on holiday again because of governorship election to allow our staff to participate in the election.
I will do that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I will do that, sir. Yeah.
My VC, I always salute.
And I catch him. I catch him well, sir.
You catch him well.
I catch him well, sir. Thank you.
Salute. Salute.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will remind Dr. Noja the urgency of meeting with the Vice Chancellor. We'll talk after this presentation. No.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. It's been a very fruitful day. We are not many, but many nice things have come out of this webinar. So we are very happy that we have been able to get to this stage in this conversation. And I am very happy that the Vice Chancellor was here today. And I want to beg him to please always be here, because his presence gave me some strength. And I must confess that I feel really elated and accomplished this afternoon. I know he's very busy, so that is why he cannot be here all the time, but it's been a wonderful one. Thank you so much, all the erudite professors here, Professor Obada, who is always there to make us comfortable, Emeritus Professor Sogolo, Professor Tijani, Professor Aneto, and so many others. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you so much. And I won't want to keep us further, because I don't think okay, Professor
I cannot go before saying this. I think the learning moment here, for anyone, is that there is that continuity, there is that synergy, there is that sustainable partnership between the predecessor and the successor. Look at Professor Oba Adamu, and look at what Professor Peters is building upon. Look at myself, and look at what Professor Aneto is building upon. So there was a proper handover. There is that proper handover, as well as continuity. Look at what can I do to build upon this foundation. And that is the model that we must continue to adopt. Those of us that are aspiring to be director of the Center of Excellence in Migration and Global Studies, for those of us that are looking forward to a vice chancellor like Professor Adam, that will give us that mantra and then say, show me what you can do, as it did for me willingly on that Friday, calling me to say, oh, I have this. We sat down. Tijani, this is it. Give me something. Monday. Today we're celebrating this. And then you have a new vice chancellor coming in and not saying, oh, Adamu is rubbish. Okay? He's now building upon it. And then you have the Egunla that is also with us. Somebody like Emeritus Professor Sogolo. Okay, if we can have more of Emeritus Professor Sogolo in our universities, I think we will have secured the future of this nation, notwithstanding the challenges. And I thank you. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of us.
Thank you very much, Professor Tijani, for
that opportunity. I really forever will appreciate and continue to see it. And I hope your essay gave you my message when you visited, but we didn't meet, but we spoke. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those encouraging words, and to allow the presenter to have the last words, because that's our practice here. We always give you the chance to say one or two things before we end this presentation. It's been a very fruitful one, and I have been able to take home that entrepreneurship is about creating wealth, and it's never too late to start entrepreneurship. And above all is that we should redefine our failures. So when we fail, we redefine them. We don't let them, the failure wear us down. I was also able to look at resilience in a very special way. as one of the keys to success. I think I've really had a beautiful day today, and over to Dr. Onoja now for his last words before we end this program. Dr. Onoja, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Ma, and thank you, the former VC, the VC, all the professors on the platform. And I'm so excited and happy with the other possibilities that are coming after this. I thought it was going to be a one-chance sensitization activity, but it's good that something is coming in line with my passion and commitment at this stage of my life and career, to be able to share the experiences I have, to be able to contribute to the growth, especially of the coming generation. And I'm so excited. I will try and find time as soon as possible to follow up with you and the VC as he has recommended. I thank you again, Professor Gloria. I know all the back and forth, you are very patient. Not this appointment will not have been firmed up. So I just thank everybody, and I will now henceforth. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. So we hope I'll call you immediately after, like I said, we quickly have a conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Thank you. And I want to say it's been a good day, and I want to say bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
you.